So Nathan, have you ever seen Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
No.
Okay, so I actually have a top three favorite parts from that show. And this isn't the segment, but I have a top three favorite parts. So there's this character Scott, and there's this part where he walks around with a cane, and everyone who's like
Wait, so you
a
watched
bit of a
this show?
fashionista on. I've never seen it. No. He's walking. I've seen like little clips.
Oh, yes, just for
Um,
research.
there's like 55 seasons of it, and these are basically the three parts that I've seen, and I think it's because they're the parts that are circled around.
Mhm.
So there's this character Scott. He walks around with a cane in one part, and he's just like he's just a really good character. You know, he's definitely my favorite character in the show. And by character, I mean it's a reality show, so he's a real person too, I guess. There is one of them. I think it's Kendall Jenner. She's trying to cut a cucumber, but she's cutting it like backwards, like she's never
Oh,
cut a
yeah,
cucumber
that is a
before.
thing. Yep,
It's like
I'm aware of that.
yeah.
That's in an ad now.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you
See,
seen the
there
ad?
you go. Yeah, it's I think they redid it for the ad.
Right, okay,
Yeah, I
yep.
think it's an Uber
I get that.
Uber Eats ad, I think.
Yes, Uber Eats, yeah, that's right.
Because they're like, oh, why don't we just order a salad, you know?
Her mum's just ordering stuff constantly on the Uber Eats ad. The last one I saw anyway, and she's cutting
yeah.
the cucumber, I think, yeah. If people are still listening to this episode, it's a miracle.
No, this is good. Everyone loves the Kardashians. And one of the parts was one of them loses a really expensive earring in the Maldives, on one of those resorts where they're all on like a bunch of jetties with the huts on them, you know,
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think that it goes down into the
We need to do a
ocean below them.
podcast on one of those huts, I think.
I mean, that would be very cool.
Yeah.
It'll be totally a business expense, so we'll get
Obviously.
away with that. But did you know that Kim Kardashian has co-founded a private equity firm?
Yeah,
So
I feel like I did know something. Is it very recently?
it was about 6 months ago that she
Yes.
founded it, or over 6 months.
I'm aware of it.
The firm is called Sky Partners, so that's SKKY. And Kim is the co-managing partner with Jay Sammons, who is previously experienced in PE. So it's a consumer products and media private equity firm, and they're currently raising for their first fund. So the fund will be $1 billion, which is raised from investors. They're targeting 10 to 12 investments that they're going to do with a target acquisition price of 100 million to 500 million each. So that'll be pretty big acquisitions in the media and consumer product space.
Does it sound like they're just going to like buy up content creators? Is that the take?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I would say content creators would be a lot smaller than that range. So I would say it would be media companies.
Content creators plus someone who has a bunch of products. I don't know. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Well, if they're $100 million acquisitions at minimum, I would say the play is more of those things that are on TV that could be expanded to digital media, could be a YouTube show, could be, you know, more online. So I would say there's a huge move for some of those TV channels to be online and some of those YouTubers to be on TV. So there'd be a lot of kind of crossover work that can be done there to like crossover, I guess, different platforms to make sure that like people are trying to kind of get multiple streams of income from the same kind of creator. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
So they're asking for a commitment of 10 million from each of their limited partners, LPs, and so they'll be bringing them on board. So that'll be about 100 investors that they're bringing on board. You know, one thing I think a lot of people would be wondering is how does a fund typically structure, and what kind of is the setup like? So how it usually works is there's a 2% management fee that the GP or general partner will make from the from the actual fund before any profits get distributed to the LPs. So they'll make that 2% management fee right off the bat. And that's just for running the fund.
As in 2% of what?
So in this case, they're running $1 billion fund that would be 20 million a year, just for running.
So 2% of funds invested, is that sort of what you would say?
Yeah, 2% of the fund size.
Wow.
And so that'd be 20 mil for running the fund, all the overhead, salaries, and other expenses. Then this fund has a hurdle rate of 8% compounded annually.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is Sky Partners needs to achieve a return of 8% before earning carried interest, or carry, right? Basically what carry is where they need to return over 8% of the fund. And then for all of the returns over that 8% hurdle rate, the PE will actually take 20% of that additional return, and leave 80% for the investors. So that's their carry.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I think it's a really cool idea. PE firms generally exist to make money in ways that can't really be made with the typical investments. So you get to own this large portion or even a majority or a full company. And then you get to make key structural changes, which is either holding or selling the company, partitioning it up into much smaller pieces, combining it with another company, making operational changes, stuff like that. And it's actually a lot better than if you were just buying it like a stock, for example. So if you think about what you get in a public market, you're only really getting a very small piece of it. Whereas this, you're kind of buying it off a private market. You're buying it at a way lower valuation. And it's especially true that you can kind of make a really good return if you think about it as you're buying at a price to earnings ratio of, say, 2 to 3, and then you can sell it at 4 to 6. You're instantly doubling the valuation there. So,
And I assume they're almost always like purchasing a controlling stake in whatever they're acquiring too, right? They're getting a
yeah,
board
yeah,
seat.
yeah,
They're like that's also such a big difference. Like you buy public market, like you're just sitting there going along for the ride, hoping things go well. But yeah, PE is right. You can actually go in and do stuff. It's like buying an investment property and then actually doing it up yourself, not just relying on the market to go up.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, basically they can buy at a low valuation. They can make a few tweaks. They can change the price. They can, mark up that valuation and then try and double their valuation.
The combining concept is good too. Like if, for example, they did do content creators, which as you say, maybe it's not the case because they're probably a little small, but even if it's products or something, like being able to like scale, being able to, I don't know, even like there's 3 companies, they all use 3 different like warehouses, just use one warehouse and save so much money. Like I guess it's stuff like that, the simple things as well.
There's plays like that, and then there's the opposite way. So there's like, for example, Universal taking Universal Music Group out of that and separating Universal, the film studio from
Yeah,
the music, because that's where like the sum of its parts are worth more. And then there's other ones where it's like, oh, the company is worth more than the sum of its parts. So there's 2 ways that you can kind of look at it, and it's all about how well you can sell it, I guess.
totally.
So speaking of Universal Music Group, this is my next piece of news topic. So Universal Music Group is something we've talked about a few times on the show, which is pretty cool. So they've just partnered with Endel, which is a generative music app that lets people make personalized soundscapes for themselves. So it looks like they've partnered with this company as an AI play, which is really interesting. So Endel is an AI generative company, and they've got James Blake on as an artist, which is cool.
Back from the dead.
Back from the dead.
Haven't heard much from him for a while.
True. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's got that soothing voice though. So they've made this play because they've been making these public statements about the erosive power of generative AI on the current music industry. So, and its ability to violate copyright, and they're afraid of this effect basically. So if you go back to episode 16, where we talked about Bill Ackman doing a SPAC,
yes,
that was to acquire
that's right.
Universal Music Group.
What was the name of the SPAC? Do you remember? Did you write down?
There you go. So the name of the SPAC, here I'll do a little guessing game. The name of the SPAC was PSTH. Do you remember what that stands for?
Yes, it was like Persian Square something Holdings. Persian Square.
Ooh.
I can't remember what the T was.
Okay, so that's Pershing Square Tontine Holdings.
That's right. I was never going to get Tontine. That's right.
And I'm going to bring that up later in the episode.
Oh, okay. So it comes back. See if I can
we also talked about them recently on an episode 31 where we were talking about how they were removing the AI generated songs from that guy that the guy made with the AI clone of The Weeknd and Drake. So listen to 16 and 31 if you're a massive fan of Universal Music Group.
Listen to them again because I'm sure you've already listened to them.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. For the new fans,
Are you struggling to get your name out there? Do you want to attract more customers? Maybe just increase your revenue? Well, look no further than Unique. They're an all-in-one marketing agency, and they'll help take your business to the next level. They believe in marketing that should be both effective and enjoyable, and I tend to agree. So they offer a range of services such as web design, branding, social media management, and lead generation. The team of experts, they'll work with you to develop a tailored marketing strategy that fits the unique needs of your business. And they don't just stop at making you look good, but they're specialized in setting up lead generating machines. Their top secret methods will help you capture and convert your leads, leading to increased sales and revenue for your unique business. So search NEW NIQ UE on Google to learn more and schedule a free, yes, free marketing consultation via their website. So let Unique take your business to the next level.
Index is a tech-focused recruitment platform passionate about scaling your engineering team, maintaining 95% placement success. To date, they've vetted over 8,000 developers, boasting on average more than 7 years experience across their recruits. Index supplies talent to industry-leading clients such as Omeo, a German unicorn that's raised almost 500 million USD, Perforce, a US-based leading DevOps solutions provider with over 300 million USD in annual revenue, and many others, some of which are backed by firms such as Goldman Sachs and Y Combinator. So if you're struggling to find the right talent, concerned about high employee costs and staff turnover, Index has the solution for you. Through comprehensive assessments, in-depth interviews, and a robust vetting process, Index can provide your business with the very best international tech talent in less than 7 business days. For contracts greater than 6 months, Index is offering a 10% discount to HQLA fans the next time you hire using their platform.